Today we are going to talk about what are success KPIs and what are some examples of good success KPIs that you could use in your business to track the performance of your products. But before going into what are KPIs and how to use KPIs, I would like to talk about what's the difference between a metric and a KPI. They are different things, although they are very often confused with each other. Metrics measure the performance of a certain project, feature, or product, for example. And what they measure is what is the current status of the product or the feature. Of course, if you have a benchmark, you can understand if the project or the feature is actually behaving in a healthy way, is going the direction that you would like it to go. But this doesn't mean that a metric is a key performance indicator. What KPIs will do is that they will help you define the success of your business. And in a way, what is going to be the impact of a certain process in the company or in the business. So KPIs support the business goals and objectives. And KPIs are actually metrics that are assigned a certain target value. So when you define a KPI, what you want to do is that you want to follow a certain metric and you want to achieve a certain result with this metric. And this is something that is going to result in a successful business impact. So to clarify, every KPI is a metric, but not every metric is a KPI. So when you consider KPIs, it's very important that you understand that these KPIs are actually going to have an impact on your business. And these are the metrics that are actually going to help your business to grow, that are going to drive your business in the direction that you want it to be driven. So this is why it's very important not to confuse it with metrics. Metrics can be very important, can tell you very well where you are and which direction you are going, but these are not necessarily the ones that are going to have the biggest impact on your business. KPIs are the ones that should. So as a good example of KPIs that you could use to define the success of your business, there is this McClure parrot metrics. The idea with these ones is that they spell R as a parrot would, so they are easy to remember. So there's going to be 2 A's and 3 R's. So the KPIs that he defined are acquisition, activation, retention, referral, and revenue. But let's talk one by one and define what each of these ones are actually talking about. So the first of all is going to be the acquisition. And here is how do you get people to be aware of what you're doing? How do you get people to your website? How do you get people to your webshop? Whatever it is that you are selling, wherever you are selling it, how do you promote your product to those potential users? It's very important that you are making people aware that you have a new product that is solving their problem. And this is how you are going to potentially acquire and get those traffic and get that traction for your product. The second one is the activation KPI. And this one is referring to those people that actually have seen the promotion of your product, that they have seen your website, they have landed there, and they actually have made the decision to purchase. So here you are actually converting people from prospects to actual customers. In this moment, people are starting to pay to you and they become your first customers. That doesn't mean that they're going to last a long time with you. It depends a lot on what type of product, how long they're going to be with you in the life cycle of the product. And here is obviously very important that you want to make a very easy process for those customers to get onboarded into your process. And KPIs are also going to tell you not only how successful your promotion is in the first case, or how successful your activation is from the point of view of how good your product is, but it's also going to measure the process. Is this a good process? Is this an easy purchase, for example? So drops in these different KPIs, it will tell you how good or how healthy your processes are. The next KPI is retention. So this KPI is the one that is most related with your product and your product value proposition, the product market fit. Does your product actually answer the needs of your customers? Do your customers come in, purchase, start using it, and after 1 month decide that, well, no, this is not valuable as I thought it would be, so I will stop using it? Retention is the one that actually measures how valuable your product or your features are for your customers. The next KPI is going to be referral. So how are your customers actually being promoters? How are your customers your ambassadors and actually promoting your content, your products to other people, that they're so proud of the products that they are using that they will go and tell everybody about those products because they're awesome, they love it, it just works, it just solves the problems that they have, it just makes their life somehow better. And then they're going to be willing to go and talk to people and actually promote your products. This can be measured by things like NPS, for example, where you actually get to see who are the people who really love your product and actually will go and promote it to everybody else out there. You can see this very commonly with different products like Apple, Teslas, where people that actually use those products, who actually really love those products, they're extremely passionate about it, and they talk sometimes non-stop about those products. And finally, of course, another KPI that is quite obvious, and probably you have thought about it, is revenue. So revenue is a lagging KPI. So revenue is not going to tell you necessarily where you're going, but it's actually the reaction of the products that you have and the perception that the users have on those products, and how actually those products are bringing value to the users. And that is why it's a lagging one, because it happens only after the users have been using it, after the users have noticed the value and they have continuously and recurrently, if you have a subscription model, paying for your products. And revenue, obviously, what it measures is by bringing value to your customers, that actually customers are willing to pay for the products that you're building. When you see these KPIs, actually these KPIs are very related with a customer acquisition funnel. And actually they are very related to what a customer journey is. So I will link the video that I have on the customer journey here. The idea here is that you want to make sure that whenever you build a product, first of all, your customers are actually noticing that you have this new product. Second, the decision of purchasing your product is actually a straightforward decision. Third, that your product is actually solving the problem that the users have. Fourth, that the product is actually so good that the users are willing to talk and spread the knowledge on it. And fifth, that you are actually making a healthy business, that you are actually getting revenue for the products that you're building because you're bringing value to your customers. And of course, there's many other KPIs that you can define for your business. Sometimes it is going to be strategic to enter a new industry because you know that your product is already giving a lot of value for certain customer segments, but there's another customer segment that is very close to some of the ones that you have, but you have never tackled. So being able to tackle that customer segment can be defined as a KPI or a set of KPIs that can help you moving towards your goal. So this is why KPIs are important and why tracking them and actually planning the actions that are going to help you deliver those goals is going to be key for the success of your business. And if I would actually have to choose one KPI out of all these KPIs, and of course I'm a product guy, so it's kind of obvious what I would choose, but I think it's very important that retention is for me the most important KPI. It is the one that is actually telling that you're building something that is valuable to users. You're building something that whenever actually users come through your funnel, they will stay with you. Yes, you might be able to generate lots of traffic for your website. You might be able to actually even sell a lot of new subscriptions. If your product is not good enough to be sticky, to be all the time in your customers' lives, then you're going to be losing and having a big churn of your customer base all the time. And that's going to be a big problem and a really big headache to solve. So having something that actually helps retention, that helps people engaging with your products, to stick to your products, to live with your products all the time, that's going to be key. So for me, that's why retention is potentially the most important of all of these KPIs. And by no means I'm saying that all the other KPIs are not important. So how about you? Do you use KPIs in your business? Do you think that this is the way of defining KPIs? Do you agree with these KPIs? I would like to hear your thoughts about KPIs in general. If you have some thoughts about metrics, I would love to hear, because even if I'm a product guy, I love data, but I'm not a data scientist by any means. But I really like to talk about the data and how to track metrics, how to use the data available. And but yes, let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like the video and you like the content that I'm creating here, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot to the channel. And I will see you in the next one. Stay safe.